Oh, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah. So I'm reading The Selfish Gene by Richard Dawkins. And, yeah. Books. Books are important, and I'm just going to back off the volume here a moment. There we go. Yeah. There was a famous quote by an American former slave by the name of Frederick Douglass. Education makes a man unfit to be a slave. I think that's a very important quote, and it's especially telling today as we have government and religion both enthusiastically telling us that we don't need education. Education is pointless, redundant, and irrelevant. And for some people, education is, what's that term they use for it again? Oh, yes. Acting white. Yes. Acting white. Education is acting white. Funny that this is coming out of the American establishment that is utterly dependent, still, upon the violent exploitation of people who are not white. That they would say, education is acting white. Which brings us back to Frederick Douglass again. Education makes a man unfit to be a slave. Are you noticing a pattern here? Are you noticing a pattern? While an educated public may not be an absolute guarantor of freedom, justice, and dignity, it does increase the odds. So as I said, education may not be the guarantor of freedom, but illiteracy is the guarantor of slavery. And when I say education, I don't just mean being able to recognize your own name in written form and being able to do a few mathematical sums. I mean real education. Education with understanding, philosophy, rational thought, problem solving, critical thinking. All these things that are learned. Things that make it possible for people to express doubt. And indeed, things that make it possible for people to figure out whether or not they should doubt. Whether or not they should be asking questions. Because, well, without the benefit of education, it's hard to know if you're being lied to. It's hard to know if you're being taken for a ride. It's hard to know if you're being bullshitted.